Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, Securing Your Organization Against Phishing and the New Age of AI-Based Attacks, jointly hosted by Versasec and Feitian Technologies US. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Jennifer Whitney, and I'm the Marketing Manager at Feitian, and I'll be your moderator today. Before we get started, I have two quick housekeeping items. First, I want to make sure everyone in our audience is set. If you're running into any challenges with audio, access the settings panel from the bottom left. Second, this section is for you, and we love to hear from you. We'll be capping off the session with Q&A at the end. Please share any thoughts or questions you have by clicking the Q&A button in the bottom center. And with that, I'd like to introduce our speakers, starting with Rajkumar. Paul Rajkumar has more than 15 years of experience in the technology industry. Paul is passionate about technology and innovation, which meets customer requirements. He focuses on relevant customer-centered solutions and strategic business development for the Middle East and Asia Pacific regions. And Kaushik Mahadeokar. Kaushik is a lead solutions engineer at Feitian Technologies US with extensive experience in identity and customer technical solutions. He specializes in designing and delivering customer-centric, phishing-resistant security technologies for enterprises and governments, focusing on driving innovation across the US market. Before I hand things over, here's a quick look at what we'll be covering today. We'll be kicking things off with cyber attack trends and the role of AI. Then we'll dive into mitigating attacks and go through some use cases, and we'll cap off with Q&A. And with that, I'll hand it off to you, Kaushik.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have heard so far that, hey, generative AI is the place to be. Everybody wants to use generative AI. There's a lot of practice that can be optimized, a lot of work can be optimized. What people don't tell you is that with AI generation comes AI-based attacks as well. Did you guys know ever since the rise of AI, there have been 4,000 identity-based attacks per second? That is right, 4,000. That means at this point, someone is trying to get into your account from somewhere in the world. And the way they're going to do it is advanced workflows through smart tactical planning and just using AI to execute it. So you might just get a pop-up on your Gmail, or they might just get a text saying that, hey, please sign in to authenticate X, Y, and Z. And the next thing you know, some part of your information is phished. That means that you also need to understand that we right here are here to help you prevent that. We are here to help solve this phishing problem because cybersecurity helps fight these evolving threats. And we just want to make sure that we try to do it in a cost-effective and a simple manner for you guys. Over to you, Paul.
Hey, Kaushik, thanks a lot. I would say you have actually hit the nail on the head. Jennifer, if you can quickly move on to the next slide, please.
All right. So moving with the phishing evolution with AI, like I had mentioned in the previous slide, can you just imagine an example where you just log into work, you're just trying to get caught up on a lot of emails, and you don't have to worry about any chatbot trying to get in by sending you some automated email saying that, hey, thank you for doing XYZ. Here's the link for payments. And you, in a rush of things, trying to catch up on emails, actually press the link, takes you to a real looking gateway, which all has been designed with this chatbot or with this particular AI generation creation tactic. We want to make sure that users or employees are not tricked in this particular section. We want to make sure that there's a way to understand that you are who you are and you're not being sent or asked this form or this payment link through a different gateway which has been designed to phish information and maybe steal your money, steal your personal information that could be used. What we do is we basically help from Feitian's side by providing a little token we call 502 security keys. What we do is basically make sure that even if someone tries to do that, they'll ask you to log in, it'll ask you to verify who you are, and it does through by presence verification. It also does it through making sure that the key is with you. So even if someone tries to get in using any sort of advanced attacks that have been harder to defend against in the last 1 year, as you guys have seen, it's pretty easy to make sure that even though they log in, they get into your portal or whatever, they won't be able to verify you are, for example, Kaushik, or you are Paul. All right, over to the next slide. And I would also say that I don't have to explain too much about this. I feel like this is pretty much correct right now. Basic security hygiene is worth the squeeze, but we don't want to make it basic. We want to make it advanced. We want to make it much more stronger. That's why we are here for.
Hey, Kaushik, thanks for the handover. It's actually pretty important for many of the organizations. If they get this right? Basic security hygiene, if they get that right, 99% of the issues is resolved. And as you did mention, phishing is a big headache for organizations these days. And now with AI-based phishing, it becomes a task on hand. And most of these cyber attacks are focused on their well-known vulnerabilities due to the poor hygiene practices. So people, please listen, make sure that you have your basic security hygiene set up. And to help that, you have people like from Feitian to make it worthwhile to move into multi-factor authentication. So why do we need to speak about multi-factor authentication now? Phishing attacks have become more successful, mainly because of two things. One is there are lack of proper IT policies, or there are not stringent password policies. But it is the time to move away from passwords because due to the lack of employee awareness, there's more phishing attacks, there's more man-in-the-middle attacks. So it is really the time now to move towards multi-factor authentication. And we are going to be seeing more about how we can adopt this particular multi-factor authentication and how Feitian can help you with this. And Jennifer, you can help to move on to the next slide, please. This is a brilliant slide for me because I want to tell you a Microsoft Entra study shows multi-factor authentication reduces the risk of account compromise by 99%, which demonstrates the complete effectiveness of its protecting against any real-world attacks. Okay, let's say that you are going to be using Feitian tokens or smart cards. It provides you a robust extra layer of security, making it extremely hard because your end user, your employee, is going to be using this Feitian token or Feitian smart card to log into their devices. So it makes it very hard for attackers to breach your accounts. And even if there are passwords and even if they are compromised, it doesn't matter because you're going to be using your Feitian keys to actually get into your login authentication. With multi-factor authentication helping organization to move quickly, particularly when there is regulatory requirements like GDPR, HIPAA, and PCI DSS, it helps you to enhance your security posture. With multi-factor authentication, focusing not only more on your employees or working within the vicinity, but also your remote workforce. It allows you, when you're going for tokens from Feitian, either you're going with the PIV or the FIDO2 based authentication, it allows you seamless authentication options, which includes passwordless methods, enhancing user experience without compromising security. So with that, can we go on to the next slide, please?
This is my favorite slide, Paul.
Well, Kaushik, I'm going to get your expert advice on this particular slide because people, not all MFA is the same. You're going to be hearing from Kaushik on how Feitian tokens offers the strongest form of authentication. But before that, let me take a little bit of time to explain to you about SMS and app-based MFA. Well, with SMS-based MFA, it's very easy to implement. Of course, it's cost-effective, but it is highly susceptible to SWIM swapping, SMS interception, and malware attacks. And with no malware protection, if you're going to be going with SMS-based multi-factor authentication, you would not be able to prevent any credential theft, which can compromise your overall security posture, particularly if your employees, your end users are not careful. You can absolutely move towards something better, which is an app-based MFA. It's definitely a step forward, but it is not the perfect solution. You need to work with certain requirements or certain restrictions, particularly, let's say, if you're looking at air-gapped environments, or if you're looking at a situation where you're not able to use your mobile phones, then it becomes useless. So now I'm going to take the expert's help, Kashi, to tell you why Feitian tokens and smart cards offer the strongest form of authentication.
100%. Well, Feitian tokens and smart cards are known for their versatility and their diverse portfolio in various environments. You could use these across regulated industries. You could use this across government. You could use it across enterprises, healthcare, even finance. And what sets us apart, most importantly, is while SMS, voice MFA, or even app-based MFA is cool, you mentioned some of the disadvantages, Paul, and I totally agree with that. What you don't get with these different form factors with Feitian's phishing-resistant MFA, we call them device-bound passkeys here, thanks to FIDO Alliance right here, is that, like I said in the previous slide, you get an option to verify that you are present, you are in the room, you can carry this with you. It's a very easy, compact form factor. And what it does is it stores your credential and it initiates you to go through the whole passwordless journey. It could also do an MFA or, second factor of authentication if that's what you would like. Essentially, what we do is you have to plug in the key. If it's a smart card, there's an option for NFC compatibility as well. You could basically start by putting this key in, just tapping the key, and it basically pulls out your credential. It verifies you are who you are by giving you a PIN that is exactly only identical and understandable by you. if once that PIN has been entered, it asks you for that presence verification. It kind of like blinks a little bit green. No attacker, no hacker could get through that unless somebody basically just, runs away with your key and your laptop and they somehow magically end up knowing your password. But the possibility of that happening is very, very, very minimal because you just have to, keep this on your keys, or you could just keep it in your pocket. You can keep it in your wallet as well. In terms of smart cards, also the same factor. We have a physical and logical access card. You can just tap it, when you just get into the office, so nobody else could actually get in except you. We call it our bio card. It's one of our best cards. Essentially, you sign up with your fingerprint, you go and tap it on the card. It asks you for a little blinking dot. So if anyone, somehow magically finds your fingerprint on the ground, they won't be able to get in with your card. And you can actually get into a laptop or a computer with that as well. So I would say other options are really good, but in terms of more security, you have to be more careful, right? That's what people say, with advanced attacks come advanced protection. That's what we are here for. All right, guys. So before we go into our history of like the 2000s all the way to the current section, I want to just give you a quick overview what AAL3 stands for. AAL3 stands for Authenticator Assurance Level 3. This is basically the highest level of authentication assurances. This has been defined by NIST themselves in its publication 800-63-3. So we just want to make sure that this label ensures phishing-resistant authentication, allows it to make it more secure for enterprises pretty much. Now that I've given you a quick point of what AAL3 stands for, I want to give a quick story on the 2000s, 10s, and the 20s. We started off with the 2000s, where we focused pretty much on public key infrastructure setting. This is utilized pretty much in old school environments. We had the smart card, and I believe Versasec also had a lot of great solutions provided during the early 2000s too. When I'm saying early, it doesn't only have to be early. I'm just making a joke here. Okay, but moving forward, we went into the PKI and the PIV space. PIV basically came up as a subset of PKI. This integrated completely into the Windows environment, and this was primarily adopted and utilized with smart card settings. So if you had a smart card with PIV settings, it used personal identity verification to allow you to log in pretty easily into your Windows login section, or even if possible, just put the badge. You kind of like had a little work badge. You kind of put it in the computer, and they had a little reader which would read it and then easily get in. Moving forth came the closest and the best thing that people know today is FIDO2 hardware, right? So FIDO2 basically is a subset of the best of PKI and PIV, and it has been decentralized for making sure that consumers and people can actually use it. It's basically like out of the box usability and plug and play functionality. There is no complexity that people expect in high assurance environments. In the past, there has been no sort of problems in like user adoption and friction. They just need to know, plug in, you got to set it up with a little pin and you're good to go. Then you can just register it to different platforms. You can make it super simple to use, and your mobile phone if you have like a compatible key as well. FIDO2 stands for Fast Identity Online. If you guys have any idea about what FIDO Alliance does, definitely go check out Passkey Central as well. But basically, this has been evolved from decades of PKI, then PIV, and then it's trickled down into FIDO. So we are right now in a space where it's really easy for consumers and enterprises, more so enterprises, to adopt phishing-resistant MFA in the easiest possible manner with the most secure technologies based on the same open authentication standards that followed by all the players in the industry.
Kaushik, thanks a lot, man. Oh, for the past 2 decades, Feitian has done a lot and helped so many different organizations. So what I've done is I've picked up a couple of incidents just happened over the last 2 years. And I think it's important for each one of us to know because it allows us to explain how Feitian keys can actually help in these kind of situations. So one of this incident is, if you can see on your slide, this was this huge cyber attack targeting a government agency in the Southeast Asian country in 2024. Super high profile attack compromising sensitive data and systems, and it was breached by a cyber criminal group. So when such attacks happen, it poses significant risks to operations, reputation, and data integrity. Here, if we can implement Feitian tokens or smart cards, these sort of attacks can be addressed, and it offers cybersecurity protocols tailored for government institutions. So that's a big ask, which can be filled. And when you're coupling that with regular security audits, these measures can effectively safeguard systems, mitigate disruptions, and protect against any future vulnerabilities. So yeah, please do reach out to us. We have more case studies like this, which we can share with you, and we can showcase how Feitian can actually help you along with our VSEC CMS solution. And if we can go on to the next slide, I have one more similar incident which happened in 2023. And this is with a major healthcare provider. So in this situation, if you see, over 2 million patients' data, personal data, was exposed. And this was very simply because of outdated software and inadequate security measures, which can be easily done or prevented. So such breaches highlight the critical need of robust security solutions and focus on internal security policies to prevent any identity theft and mitigate such risks. If it leads to fraud or fraudulent schemes, it becomes even more difficult because it has a reputational damage as well. So here, Feitian credentials such as tokens, biometrics, or even the smart cards enables proactive cybersecurity practices, safeguarding sensitive data while maintaining trust and resilience against any future threats. And with this, if I'm going to the next slide, I'm going to be more excited because I'm going to be talking about how we are managing the FIDO tokens from Feitian. So Jennifer, if you can help me move on to the next slide, please. And this is a fantastic slide because we see that in many more cases and many more opportunities and with our prospects when we hear from Feitian team that they are talking and helping these organizations. What is the main reason that they want? They want a quick and easy authentication. So when you're using Feitian tokens or smart cards, it becomes very easy and very effortless, particularly when you're handing over the tokens to your end users, your employees. The entire experience is very easy and absolutely you're removing the need for needing to remember passwords. So you are providing them with strong account security, you're providing them with a key, you're making it very robust. They're not going to be, they are absolutely phishing resistant. They're not going to be using any more passwords. They're going to be using the biometrics or they're going to be using the PIN, whether it's going to be CBA or even FIDO2 authentication in this case. You're streamlining the entire authentication with one Feitian key. It could be a token or a smart card. And with that, you can allow your end users, they can sign into multiple accounts, they can log in into their enterprise level apps, portals, emails, and even entirety environments, which we will be discussing a little bit later. So with this, we improve the complete efficiency for your organization. And most importantly, we also help you to adhere with security policies and regulations, because I know most of the organizations nowadays have part of their internal security policy agenda that they need to have phishing resistance. They need to go passwordless, or they need to streamline the entire authentication protocol. What form factors that they're using, something which Kaushik was talking about in the previous slides. And with Feitian tokens and smart cards, you would be able to adhere to all these external and internal policies promoting a secure environment. And most importantly, when we are offering this package of Feitian and Versasec together with our on-prem or SaaS offering with VSEC CMS solution, we help your admins to have the complete oversight of the enrollment procedures, starting from the pre-reg, the issuance, maintenance, revocation, through all the hard and manual part. We completely orchestrate it, and we empower them to strengthen the security measures and manage access effectively. So to adopt FIDO, to go forward with your multi-factor authentication, talk to us, talk to Feitian experts, and talk to us so that we'll be able to explain to you more about on how you can specifically address your needs and your use cases.
All right. So, Paul, thanks so much for the great slide. I feel like every time I hear you talk about it, it's like my favorite point, you know. It just kind of is like Pokemon, you know, like we're all encompassing solution. But moving forward, FIDO by Feitian, managed by Versasec, is a tagline you guys have to follow. It's one device for your use case, whether you use it in commercial situations, you use it in government, high assurance situations, and you pair it with Versasec, that one device can help every user, every employee, everyone who's even using a little security card to just badge in. For all we know, it's going to be secure, it's going to be phishing resistant. Even the most basic personnel need access to systems, right? And the way we do that is this one device, whether it's a smart card, whether it's a security key, we provide phishing resistant, FIPS compliant in government use cases, security key to ensure streamlined, passwordless MFA. All you got to do is carry your card or carry your key in your pocket or in your wallet, and just be sure to not forget it. Even if you do, we can help you issue another one with Versasec capability.
Thanks a lot, Kaushik. I mean, this is one of my favorite slides too, because gone are the days where you need to have multiple solutions to use multiple use cases. So it has made our lives much easier, and with the capabilities of Feitian keys, yeah, as you rightly said, whichever could be the requirement, what if you're looking for certificate-based authentication, or if you're going to be using FIDO2 authentication, all you need to understand what is the use case, and then you can use just one device to manage any of these use cases, and that's perfect. And what we are trying to do is we are trying to offer the combined package with our Versasec flagship product, V6 CMS solution. Jennifer, if you can move on to the next slide, please. So we want to ensure that the entire manual process is automated. So we orchestrate everything for you. And in the next slide, you would be able to see a simple diagram which showcases how we move through the different stages from issuance to maintenance and till you are revoking a token. So with our VSEC CMS solution, we have both on-prem as well as SaaS offering. We provide a simple, secure end-to-end orchestration, and we provide it with granular access management as well. So whatever may be the use case, whether it's PKI, PIV-based, PKI combined with FIDO, FIDO-based authentication. So whether it's still you're using if you're supporting with PKI or PIV-based requirement for your organization, or if you're going to go with FIDO-based authentication. And our solution just simplifies and secures the complete entire lifecycle management process, giving you absolute transparency. And here, with the Feitian tokens, we would be able to manage and help you and make your admin's life much easier. So, as I told you before, our aim is to make the end user's experience completely smooth and secure, and giving you this complete possibility of making this process, whether you're going with CBA or going with FIDO2, making sure that we integrate with various ecosystems and ensuring centralized management. That's how intuitive a solution can be and make your life much easier. And yes, Jennifer, now we can move on to the next slide, please. And this next slide is definitely one of my favorite slides because we talk more about FIDO here and how FIDO orchestration happens. And I'm going to be taking some help from Kaushik here, but yes, what I would like to say is we would like to work hand in hand, particularly when you're choosing FIDO keys. We would like to enable with Feitian tokens, particularly device-bound passkeys, and when it's integrated with Microsoft Entra ID or any other IDPs for your organization-wide policies, it makes it much more easier for an enterprise configured requirement. So it becomes much easier. Kaushik, please let us know how Feitian helps these kind of requests coming from customers.
Hey, first and foremost, I love this diagram too as well, Paul, and you brought some really good points. The best part about Feitian's tokens is that we actually work with all major IDP and IAM vendor, including Microsoft Entra ID. We have Cisco Duo. We actually work with Okta, Ping Identity, and Google as well. I would like to give a little bit of spotlight here to the example that you have given right now with Microsoft Entra ID. It's pretty much out-of-the-box functionality. Any administrator who has used Entra ID before knows that all they have to go is going to the Entra ID admin center under protection. You have to set up the authentication methods for your whole organization. Once you enable FIDO2 passkeys, that's the first step. That's all they have to do to initialize it. Once that initialization is done and they register the security key, that's where your app-based resource would come in, because VSEC EMS is just so robust and agile. It's easy to use for a lot of the admins as well. Essentially, once it integrates into Entra ID, that data will probably be moved over into VSEC CMS. That makes it easy for you to do the lifecycle management and configure it for enterprises as well. From our side, all we got to help users do is adopt phishing-resistant MFA. You go into mysignins.microsoft.com. You just register the security key. There's an option. It's a very easy to understand interface where you just set up your security key and that links it to a particular enterprise domain. Whether you are using as a consumer and you want to use VSEC CMS for light or small organizations or even big ones, it's super easy. It's the same process. You guys got to set up the mysignins.microsoft.com as the end user that ties it to the organization you're working for. Then once the administrator from your organization downloads VSEC CMS, they should actually get all this data over in their platform. So that makes it easier for us to issue you if you lost the key pretty easily. And then we will send this key over to you. Versasec will basically help you configure it once that's done. So after you do the same process. And I feel like most of the people do use Entra ID as well. And I believe we have the same functionality working with other major IDPs and IAMs as well. I'm just super excited to show you guys this in action. If you guys probably see it sometime soon in one of the videos.
Great, great. So that's absolutely fantastic, Kaushik. Yeah, so the perfect situation for organization is once you start testing Feitian tokens and once you start using them to help your end users or for your employees. What is important is you understand how you would like to manage this complete requirement of centralizing the issuance process. So you have more clarity, you understand what is the requirement, and you go on with it. So in the next slide, we kind of talk a little bit about how VSEC CMS helps you with this complete centralization, because we do have our proprietary features, which you would see quickly when we move on to the next slide. Our aim is to ensure that we give this complete transparency when organizations are trying to do issuance, particularly if it's a huge organization and you have a lot of keys from Phaeton that you want to have this issuance as bulk issuance. How do you manage it? It's not possible if you're going to be managing everything manually. There's a lot of requirements and it doesn't make your entire process efficient. So, Jennifer, if you can move on to the next slide, please. So what we do at VSEC CMS is we have both our proprietary features, which works with certain requirements such as pin unblock, allow block list, and also with the device reset block. And also we have the latest CTAP 2.1 features included in our VSEC CMS solution, particularly if your organization is looking, if it is adhering with your internal security policy audits. So this makes it very easy to centralize and manage the Phaeton tokens. And along with it, you'll be able to have complete logs, audits, traceability. And not only that, you have the other areas where we can help you as well, such as inventory management. If you want to do issuance, particularly for on behalf of users, if you have your users who are probably lost their token, or if they misplaced the token, then they have the temporary token that needs to be issued, and you need to revoke the primary tokens. All those can be done. So temporary inactivation. So you don't need to worry about all these manual processes. Everything can be done through our orchestrated VSEC CMS platform. And yes, we do help with IDP management as well. So the idea is to emphasize more on how quickly, how efficiently we can improve your productivity on making sure these Phaeton tokens or smart cards are being utilized by your end users or nothing but your employees. So that's our main goal. And I'm going to have one more slide just to talk a little bit about Entra ID, because we love Entra ID and how Phaeton
We
tokens
do.
have helped transition or move into this particular requirement. We see more and more requests coming since starting from October 15th. Microsoft has actually made this as a mandate that multi-factor authentication is required for accessing Office 365 and Azure admin portals through Entra ID. So this is mainly designed to combat any rising threats like phishing and account takeovers. And yes, with Phaeton modern keys, which are like giving you options like pass keys for FIDO, and if you're going for certificate-based authentication with PIV tokens from Phaeton tokens or smart cards, then MFA is going to be no longer an option for you. You have to start talking to us. You have to start talking to the experts to gain more knowledge and more understanding on what kind of use cases that you can acquire when you're getting these tokens, these smart cards, because it's going to change your complete infrastructure, their robust security practices, and this would help you to adhere more with the compliance requirements as well. Any quick highlights or pointers that you would like to add here, Kaushik?
No, I just feel like you captured everything perfectly, Paul. I feel like just one point I would say is that in a very streamlined approach, all you got to do is plug in your key, set it up on mysignings.microsoft.com. There's an option to set up your PIN or even your biometric fingerprint if you're interested in our biometric products or bio-focused products. We call them the BioPass series. It makes the process much more easier for Paul here also, from Versasec side, from VSEC, CMS side. It's super easy because then you don't have to worry about a pin's fallback mechanism because your fingerprint is your pin. So it makes it much more easy for Versasec to come in and issue or pre-reg the particular keys in a very centralized and efficient manner as well. And all you have to do is basically plug in the key and verify you are who you are, and then we take care of the rest. Our keys will help you achieve that peace of mind and physical presence that, hey, I'm here, this is my key, my credentials not going anywhere. And then you have the beautiful cloud that's called VSEC CMS. It'll help you manage it pretty easily. So if your organization, if you are an admin and you feel super overloaded, you just got 5,000 keys from us right now, just call Versasec. They will manage everything. It's super easy. It works pretty efficiently.
Absolutely, Kaushik. Yeah, so whatever is the requirement, the use case, depending on what environments, whether it's air gapped or if you're looking as how you're looking for a SaaS solution, or if you're looking for your private cloud, or even if you're looking for your on-prem requirement, I would say reach out to us because we can show you how you can deploy Feitian credentials, right? And along with VSec CMS, we can do a quick POC and we can showcase to you that if you're gonna be doing this, it's gonna completely change your view towards multi-factor authentication, and it significantly enhances your cybersecurity defenses. So yeah, that's the key. So reach out to us, talk to us, and we'll be more than happy to give you guys a demo. And I think we are coming pretty much to the end of our webinar. Yep. So yeah, we want to say it's all advantageous going with our combined solution. It's really helpful if you talk to us. It gives you a great understanding on how we can help you augment your security policies, augment your security posture, particularly if you are trying to adopt multi-factor authentication. And what we would like to do is we would like to finish off here saying that Versasec helps you to make this complete process easy and simple, whether if you're going with the PIV-based Feitian tokens or if you're going to go with a combined best of both worlds, both certificate-based authentication of FIDO2, or if you're just going with the FIDO2 tokens for your employees, we can help you out. We can showcase to you how you can better implement for your end users. And with our solution, with a complete intuitive interface, which is easily scalable, cost effective, and also if you are working on a current CMS and you want to migrate, we can also help you with that. And I can tell you, you will find a real winner with us. And if you're moving towards passwordless and adopting multi-factor authentication. Any closing points from you, mate?
I think you captured everything perfectly again. I feel like the best thing is all you gotta do is come here, watch Feitian Key in action, with Versasec CMS, and you will be convinced itself. I think, Paul, you know what you and I have to do? We have to come up with a separate POC where we have the Feitian Keys in action in the VSec CMS ecosystem. I think that that'll give people a beautiful point, and I think that's a sequel. I think this was a great movie, but this is time for the sequel, so we have to be ready for that.
I love sequels.
I would definitely say, on a serious note, in the last topic, Feitian keys are pretty much commodity. It's really easy to use. It's about $20 of our one of our basic models. If you want to go with bulk pricing, we do offer much more cheaper pricing because we do understand that while buying a key, you want to make sure that these are managed and properly delivered to you when you use it. You don't want to have issues. So we do keep this point into considerations. One of the points I would like to say is that because they are so easy to acquire, buy one, test one out, use VSec CMS as well, use it for your team, see how easy it is to deploy it. And then I would definitely vouch for you guys doing this for your organization. It's one of the most important things. Like I mentioned in the beginning, AI-based attacks have become very, very complicated. You don't understand who's a human, who's not a human, because these attacks are so naturally humanized and relevant to what you think it might not be. So you do need to make sure that this comes with the proper security measures, including Feitian FIDO keys, and for your organization, whole deployment perspective and management and lifecycle management. Sorry, from a lifecycle management perspective, Versasec comes into the picture and just covers all of it. It just makes it super easy.
Thank you, Kaushik. I mean, I think you can really say that with this combined offering, and I believe we should definitely promote to do a POC sequel. And for those who are listening to the webinar, as Kaushik said, please do test us because if you test a Feitian token, it makes your life much more easier. You know how easy it is to implement. And yeah, please do visit our website versasec.com, and we do give a evaluation version as well. So it means that you can also test our solution along with Feitian tokens or smart cards.
Well, thank you, Paul and Kaushik. Before we jump into the Q&A, I just wanted to share a quick overview of Versasec and Feitian. Versasec provides secure on-premises and cloud-based systems for end-to-end credential management. Today, Versasec serves customers across multiple vertical markets, including government, banking and finance and healthcare, manufacturing and retail, with more than 500 customers in 61 countries. Versasec customer retention rate has been proven over the years with an average contract length of 7 years. With Feitian, Versasec has a technology partnership since 2012, providing customers with strong phishing-resistant PKI and FIDO multi-factor authentication solution. And on the Feitian side, Feitian Technologies is a leading provider of secure authentication and smart payment solutions and is trusted by customers in business, government, education, and regulated industries in North America and beyond. Founded in 2016 and based in San Jose, Feitian boasts one of the broadest and most accessible FIDO device-bound passkey portfolios with compatibility with critical partners, including Versasec. For more information, please visit us at ftsafe.us. And with that, let's kick off our Q&A. Can I use VSEC CMS to perform central issuance for our remote users?
Well, thanks, Jennifer. That's a great question. Yes, absolutely. So let's say that if you are buying Feitian tokens, the smart cards for your employees who are within your vicinity and for your remote workforce, you would be able to do the issuance centrally for both the set of employees. Absolutely no problem. With our solution, we do have the feature where you can do this issuance not only from the desk of the admin, but you can also set it up and you can ship the cards out to these end users who are remotely situated, and then they can use our client software, which we call the VSEC CMS user, and with that they'll be able to do the self-issuance. So we do have the capabilities to actually do the centrally issuance for remote workforce.
Excellent, thank you. We've got a question here for Kaushik. For critical risk situations, if using biometrics, how might a backup or alternative work in case the person goes away or isn't available?
So that's a great point. So the way the biometric keys work or our BioPass series work is while the primary factor of authentication will rely on your biometrics to verify you are who you are, in case that person isn't available, there is a fallback mechanism. We call it a PIN. So we call it also FIDO U2F. That's a universal second factor authentication. In case the biometrics has not been configured, you can actually set up a PIN. That fallback PIN acts as the mechanism to be able to bypass it. So for example, you log into Microsoft Entra ID, you're trying to basically log into your own account. And this is regardless of the example. Once you put your biometric key, you forgot which one you registered, you try to go through all your fingerprints. After the second or the third try, it asks you for a PIN. That's when you know that that's the fallback mechanism. You need to make sure that the PIN is configured first. Otherwise, there might not be one. So you go into your accounts on your Windows settings, and you can actually check in and sign in options. There's an option to plug in your key, set up your fingerprint, and set up your PIN. Do set up your PIN. So that acts as the fallback mechanism in case your fingerprint is wrong or you've entered a couple of times, or if your team member or developer or fellow administrator is like, hey, can you please make sure that this key's with you? I have to use the bathroom or I have to go for lunch, whatever it is. That way, this fallback mechanism makes sure that no one gets locked out.
Oh, that's great. Thanks so much. What happens in CMS if a user loses their Feitian token?
They lose a Feitian token? Wow, it's one of the most common questions we get. So whoever asked it, kudos to them. The easiest ways, it's always a good common practice to have a secondary token, because if you lose the primary token and if you want to have business continuity, it's always best to have a secondary token, because with VSEC CMS, we do have the provisioning where we can immediately revoke your primary token, and then we can ensure that we set up your secondary token so that it's issued and you can continue with your day-to-day activities. So yes, VSEC CMS can orchestrate that completely, but yes, it's much easier if you are going to be having at least one backup token in case if you lose one. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. And yes, we do recommend having two because accidents happen and it's good to be prepared. Let's see our next question. Is it possible to authenticate with FIDO on a device that doesn't have internet connectivity? Kaushik, can you take that one?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So it actually depends. If you're just trying to authenticate it into a local application that doesn't require any internet, our keys don't require any sort of internet access to work out. They're basically secure. They're basically USB keys, right? With the option of managing your credentials. So there's no connection to the internet unless you guys want to use it just locally. All you got to do is just plug in the key, sometimes with NFC as well. It might ask you for an OTP code. It might ask you for a PIN code, depending on the functionality, right? We do have FIDO, we do have PIV, we have OTP as well, both HOTP and TOTP that are all local. So if you want to use it for a more localized approach, you don't want any internet access, we should be able to get that configured in that format for you. So essentially, the system you want to use it, if it's online based, you might need internet access. Our keys just basically verify your identity. We don't do anything else.
Excellent. Thanks so much. Is batch issuance of Feitian tokens possible with VSEC CMS? This is a great one.
Yes, yes. I like the kind of questions which are coming in. This is a great one, as you said, Jennifer, and it helps because with Feitian tokens and smart cards, yes, particularly if you are going to be buying in bulk, it becomes much difficult if you're going to be doing the issuance process one by one. So yes, VSEC CMS has the batch issuance feature, and we also help in terms, particularly if you're going to be using the Feitian smart cards for both physical and logical access, then we also provide card printing options. So we do have the batch printing options as well. So yes, please reach out to us if you would like to hear more about this. We are super excited to showcase these features to you.
Thanks so much. And we've got time for one more questions. Kaushik, once passkeys are implemented, how do you manage the earlier password so that it no longer exists?
Hey, that's a great question. So whenever you have registered our security key to any platform, the basic mechanism is that for online sources, it actually takes over as the most advanced phishing resistant authentication method, unless if you go for enterprise settings. So for example, if you use Entra ID here, there's an option to choose which methods you want to store in that My Sign-ins or Microsoft page as an employee, as an administrator, whatever you would like. You can actually set up to just include passkeys or FIDO security keys along with, particular Versasec capabilities that you would like to get enabled or disabled for management purposes. Once that has been set up, all you got to do is just use those, and it actually falls back to those mechanisms. So you could actually remove password, or you can just say go passwordless in certain enterprise IDPs and IAMs. But in more like consumer-focused applications, once you put your security key, it'll always ask you for a security key as a fallback. If you want to go passwordless, there's an option oftentimes in certain websites. If not, you can always find it within security or manage security and privacy settings. Over there, they will make sure that your passkey or your FIDO2 security key is the main one to use. And the other one gets overridden. It's basically like the higher the security assurance is, the more easily it integrates into the systems and you can use it. That's what my knowledge has been. It's still a work in progress. So sometimes we'll still have to enter your password in certain systems. But if not, do give us a call and we can actually work with you to walk you through this particular situation as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And thank both of you for a great presentation today. And I'd also like to thank our entire audience. We know you're busy and we're super excited and happy that you spent some time with us to learn about our solutions and how we can help you improve your security posture and defend against phishing attacks, especially as those attacks get more complex and increase in quantity, especially with AI development. So thank you so much for your time. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any additional questions or might be interested in evaluation or trial keys. We'd love to hear from you. And I hope you have a great day. Thanks.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.